Your energy is red before you ever open your mouth. Welcome to Dark Goddess Academia. I am Danielle Largo, the founder of Dark Goddess Academia, and here we initiate women back into the power of the divine, sacred, shadow feminine through shadow work, through self-mastery, and to restore natural order. Now, today I want to talk about body language and movement. When you are trying to activate your own power, the way you carry yourself says a lot more than anything that comes out of your mouth. Now, these are practical tools that you can take in day-to-day life in order to practice and eventually totally shift your energy. Your body language, how you move, how you walk, your pace, your speed, how you engage, all of these things matter. People are not just listening to what you are saying. We are all spiritual beings. People are responding to your energetic output. They're responding to your aura. They're responding to the way you carry yourself. The way you carry yourself on the outside, be that as it may, is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. So a few things that you can practice doing when you are practicing coming into your power and practicing exuding power and changing the energetic output that you have is by moving slower. So envision somebody in the mall, power walking through the mall. On one hand, you would think, oh, they're a strong person, they move fast, everybody get out of my way. Now visualize the person that is strutting across the mall floor, that is putting one foot in front of the other. Step after step after step after step. Now, something I have had to work on my own self actively is keeping my head up when I'm walking. I don't know. For whatever reason, I've always had a thing with watching my feet move. Maybe it's an avatar thing. It's an adjustment with getting used to this body and just being entertained by my own feet moving. But I practice walking with my head up. You exude a different energy. Whether you are confident or not, someone can assume or read that you lack confidence by walking with your head down. So walk with your head up, have your back straight, your posture right, and put one foot in front of the other. Someone that moves slower gives off a completely different energy than the chaos of even power walking, assuming you're not exercising, you're just moving fast for whatever reason. The person that is walking slower with heavier steps, looking straight ahead, exude a completely different level of confidence. When you're engaging with people, hold eye contact. Practice it. It could feel a little awkward. It can feel a little weird first. But an easy way to practice holding eye contact without getting awkward is by actually listening to what the person is saying. When you are engaged, you pick a point directly in their eyes, right? And you look and you listen. If you have to look away for some reason, you have to look down at your phone for some reason, you look for a second, and when you look back up, you look them right in their eyes. You can even watch the pace of your breath. Learn to breathe slower. As a yoga instructor and as a longtime yoga student, I always will be a yoga student, breath work is one of the most important things that you will ever do. Learn to take long, deep breaths. So this is something that you practice on your own. You practice sitting at your desk, you practice in the bed, you practice at random times. But, you breathe at your normal pace, but you can slow down and breathe in a controlled fashion where you're not... Because it's nothing more odd and almost chaotic and uncomfortable than someone who breathes extremely hard and extremely fast. Like, are you about to pass out? Okay, now I'm not talking about sick people, obviously, but it also highlights maybe a nervousness or things like that. So you want to be mindful of slowing your breathing down. A slower breath is a more stable and a more confident person. I put an asterisk beside that. Stillness. Reduce your fidgeting. So when you're anywhere and you're engaging, it's okay to look around. You people watch, you always notice what's in your peripheral, but the biggest thing you want to do is to not fidget. Stillness always give confidence, pretty much always. You want your shoulders relaxed. You want to sit up straight in a good posture, which is, sometimes it takes practice because we're always looking down at our phones. A lot of us are trapped at desks for hours and hours in the day. So practice. Speak slower. Sometimes I even have to practice speaking slower, oftentimes actually, because my mind goes fast. A lot of things go through my head, and sometimes my mouth can't keep up with my brain. So learn how to speak slower, speak clearer, and more concise. Speak from your diaphragm. A person who speaks in a high pitch gives a completely different energy than a person who speaks from their belly, who speaks from their chest, who speaks from their diaphragm. One of the things that I learned in yoga teacher training is that when you have to talk for an entire hour or however long the yoga class is, you learn to speak from your diaphragm because that is a more grounded, solid place. You lower your tone just a little bit. Us as women are often taught the higher pitch of our voice, the more feminine, no. Not when we're talking about dark, powerful femininity. Let it come from your diaphragm. Lower your voice a little bit. It also helps with your breath. When you speak at a super high pitch, you have to work hard, more hard than you do when you speak from your diaphragm. When you speak from your gut, it's a lot easier to speak slowly. Instead of speaking energetically, so instead of speaking from your throat in a high, speak from lower, speak from your diaphragm. Say less explaining. This can fit in many scenarios, work, relationships, whatever. Speak slower, speak less. Learn to be intentional about your words. People pick up on that. Believe it or not, people pick up on when you are careful. That means when you are careful about what you say. That means sometimes pause. Everything doesn't have to be an immediate response. Some of us may believe that, if I'm able to burst out a quick response, no. Sometimes it means slow down. Think about what you're saying. It actually exudes more confidence because it seems like you actually know what you're talking about and you're not reading out of a manual of things that you've memorized. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is setting energetic boundaries. Now, this is whether you are with people or in public with strangers or at work with coworkers. Learn to energetically set boundaries. That means saying no as a full sentence, declining without explaining or justifying, disengage with any conversation that you don't want to have. Don't make eye contact if it's not something that you want to participate in. I mentioned before, oftentimes eye contact is consent. Start acting like you don't hear people. Start acting like they are not even here. Learn to read your body. That is one of the best things that you can do for yourself is learn to read your body. If you are around people, if you are in situations where your body is tensing up and you are doing the opposite of relaxing, remove yourself. Find a way to remove yourself or to limit contact as much as possible. Let me know what y'all think about these things and if you want to hear a little bit more. Again, my name is Daniela Virgo and I'm the founder of Dark Goddess Academia. Share your thoughts in the comments.